Do you want to follow the Mediterranean diet but need an easy way to start approaching meal planning and prep? Then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down for you a super simple strategy for how you can dive into the Mediterranean diet with an easy approach to meal prep and planning. And make sure to stick around till the end because I'm going to be sharing with you my most important health tip for how to approach your diet in general. It's something I wish I learned so much earlier in my own life, and I know it's going to be valuable for you. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy, and on this channel, you are going to learn how to master the Mediterranean diet. So let's dive right in. I'm going to suggest that you have a very easy framework in your mind for general nutrition. And this doesn't just apply to the Mediterranean diet, it applies to any healthy dietary approach, but the Mediterranean diet makes it really easy to do this because the way the Mediterranean diet works is there's so much variety built into it, and meals tend to be super simple. So my first suggestion for you is to plan your proteins. Now, why do I say it that way? Well, the truth is the Mediterranean diet is famous for including lots of plant-based protein sources, things like beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds, but it also includes lots of fish and seafood. And it tends to be that fish and seafood is consumed in the Mediterranean diet more often than meat. But hear me when I say that meat is still included in the Mediterranean diet. Usually poultry is specifically recommended more often than a red meat variety, but there is a time and place for everything in the Mediterranean diet. And when it comes down to animal products like eggs or dairy, it's really about choosing which things that you like to eat. As long as the food is natural, meaning it comes from nature, either from a shrub, a tree, the ground, an animal, sea creature, you name it. If it's coming from something from nature, it's likely to be pretty healthy for you. You decide whichever proteins you like to eat. I suggest incorporating them and thinking about them before you even start any of your meal prep or planning. For me, it's easiest to do this at the grocery shopping stage. So when I'm generating my grocery shopping list, I write down exactly which proteins I want to buy, and I'm often going to incorporate a nice variety, and those will include things like canned anchovies, sardines, or tuna or salmon. A nice thing about buying proteins at the grocery store as well is that most often, if it's a meat or a fish, you can buy it in bulk and then stick it in the freezer. Or if it's something like a bean, you can buy it dry, so that will last, honestly, a long time, or even the canned form, which will also last a long time. So you don't always have to be buying these things consistently at every grocery shopping. If you find a coupon, go ahead, buy a little bit more so that it saves you a little bit of time later. Now, my second tip for you for how to meal plan and prep the easiest way possible is to focus on produce. So these are vegetables and fruits. Often in the grocery store, these are going to be laid out right in the front of the store when you first enter. Think of that as a way to help you hack your own health. If you fill up your grocery cart with lots of produce, then it's going to force you to eat these things. And if they're fresh, you're going to have to eat them quickly. You can challenge yourself by changing which produce you like to buy each time, or if it's too overwhelming for looking at all the different types of vegetables that a grocery store might sell, just stick to the ones that you know today and you can incorporate new things over time. I like to mentally break down which vegetables I'm buying into 3 main groups, and these are going to be leafy greens, a cooking vegetable, and a starchy vegetable. Now, this framework really works for me because it helps me buy a nice variety of things to put into my pantry and my fridge, but also it does help balance out the nutrition. It is nice to have a variety of things. It also keeps your diet a little bit more fun. Now, when it comes to starchy vegetables, this is going to include any potato or potato variety, any squash, and even things like corn or peas. And hey, if this video is working for you, I want you to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any important information that I put out to help you make being healthy automatic. Now, what's my third tip for you at the grocery store and in life for how to make meal planning and prep super easy is to think about which whole grains you want to incorporate. So this could be the basics like rice or pasta, or even more unique varieties, things like farro, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, wheat berries, barley, you name it. Whole grains are super nice to have in our life, in our pantry, because they allow us to bulk out a meal and they have a really long shelf life. So if you buy a big bag of rice, maybe by the pound or a couple of pounds, usually it's going to be more cost effective. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper to do it that way. And if you have the space in your pantry, that rice can sit in there for months and it'll be okay. The Mediterranean diet is really founded upon whole grains. Unfortunately, most of the grains that we're eating in our modern Western diet is very processed and refined grains, where they remove a lot of the components of the grain that have the nutrition, and the only thing left is really the starch, and in your body, it's really just simple sugar. All right, here's my fourth tip for how to make meal planning and prep even easier for you on the Mediterranean diet. And it's to include something that just makes you happy every time you grocery shop. Now, this is a little bit unconventional advice, but I am giving you permission to buy something that might not be considered healthy or even truly Mediterranean diet friendly. Why? Because our mental health matters so much, and deprivation can really cause more harm than good. Now, hear me when I say that I'm encouraging you to get one item every time you go grocery shopping that's sort of just for you, not necessarily everything on your grocery list. And what's nice is you can kind of change it up. So if one week you're like, you know what, I just need some ice cream. And the next week you're like, ooh, I kind of want something salty. Maybe I'll go for a chip. Enjoy yourself. Please, by no means do you need to be so restrictive in your approach to health and life that you feel like you're getting overwhelmed and stressed about it. That's not what the Mediterranean lifestyle is about. The Mediterranean lifestyle is Mediterranean diet plus so many other aspects of living well. And part of that is to decrease our stress, to engage in social activities, to engage in exercise, to get outside in our community, to get outside in nature. All of these things are important parts of following a Mediterranean diet and lifestyle. So please do yourself a favor, and if you really want something, give it to yourself. So whatever your thing is, go ahead and treat yourself. Get one thing each time you go grocery shopping that just makes you happy. My question for you that I'd like you to share below with all of us in our healthy community is, what do you do that really works for your meal prep and planning? Are you somebody that needs to plan out your menu for the week? Are you someone that just has to plan your grocery list and you kind of go rogue and see how you feel each day when you go make your dinner? Please share with us so we can all benefit from your amazing ideas. Now, if this video has been working for you, I want you to like it, hit the thumbs up button, and please share this video with at least 3 people. Could be a friend, a family member, a colleague, a neighbor, who you think could really benefit from learning a little bit more about healthy diet, nutrition, and the Mediterranean approach to life. But you have to understand something. Meal planning in its truest form really only works well if you bought the right items at the grocery store. And to do that, you're gonna need to know how to build your perfect Mediterranean diet grocery list so you can make being healthy automatic.